Well, I'm going to be speaking to James in just a second, Keith, but first of all, I've managed to bag myself Chris Vermeulen, who's enjoying a nice day out here at Oulton Park instead of Worlds.
Yeah, I get a day off and I come to a motorbike race, but no, it's good weather at Oulton Park. Obviously, I raced the British Championship for a year and I know a lot of the guys, and it's good to come and support them and watch the racing.
Still recognise some of the faces?
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of good riders in this class, and the British Championship is really strong at the moment, and yeah, we'll see how they go.
Okay, thanks very much for the moment. I'm going to try and grab a word with James Hayden, who's just putting his helmet on. James, you've had more downs and ups this season, but you must be thrilled to be back riding.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the phone call came from the Business Suzuki team, and I was like, what? Yes, please. So it's just fantastic.
You haven't had much time on this bike, but you've done pretty well. What did you get the feel of it?
Yeah, to be honest, exactly. I've only had a couple of hours here, and you know, but the bike's great, the team's great, and yeah, I'm really enjoying riding the Business Suzuki.
It's a good job you didn't take up that offer a couple of weeks ago. You said you were available for weddings.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Good.
Okay, best of luck to James. Now, of course, he has qualified higher than Gregorio Lavia, the man who took his job, and of course higher than Rizla regular Scott Smart. The pressure is on the Maidstone rider. One man who's been flying this weekend is Dean Thomas. Let's quickly grab a word with him. Dean, you've had a great weekend so far, and your results are getting closer and closer to the podium.
Yeah, we seem to be able to get the front rows now. It's just the old podium's been a bit elusive for me in the past, but hopefully we can crack it today.
Okay, and Michael Rutter, who is not quite on his bike at the moment, grab a word with him. He, of course, is the only HM plant Honda bike so far. He has the opportunity to streak ahead in the championship above Keogh, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I think he's watching at home, so I'll hope. But yeah, you know, just got to try and get as many points on him as possible, and you know, try and get on that podium and hopefully win it.
Okay, best of luck. Of course, I think Keogh is watching at home, so hope he's feeling slightly better. We are getting put off the grid now. It's been a great weekend for the Hawk Kawasaki team. Glenn Richards just behind me in fourth. It's a beautiful circuit. The weather is...
When we get... Who's in the middle of the front row that's missing?
We've got Leon Haslam missing there, I think.
Haslam is
spare bike from the pit lane.
Pit lane. Oh, that's a disaster. So Haslam spare bike from pit lane. Oh, just when I was saying how good he'd gone on race rubber as well. An absolute disaster for him. So then, the red lights come on when they go out. We're racing at Oulton Park for the first time today. A huge crowd. It's going
Kawasaki's away.
Yeah, Kawasaki's a flyer down to the first turn then. It is Glenn Richards. Straight in.
It's like James Hayden up there, around the inside. James Hayden into turn one.
Down the avenue towards Cascades. A scary left-hander at the bottom. It is Richards from Dean Thomas, the two Hawk Kawasaki's. Then it is Gregorio Lavia from the third row of the grid. Better watch out our monitors for a jump start, I feel, somewhere, Neil. And that's Carl Harris in fourth place. Another man that's really leapt up the order well. Carl Harris in fourth place.
We saw Leon Haslam just filtering out the pit lane there. He did well. He immediately got into the top 20, just starting from the pit lane.
Down to the chicane for the first time. Through the left, through the right, then it's left onto Hilltop Straight. Two chicanes now on this straight, over the top of Hilltop, down toward Hislop chicane, named after the late great Steve Hislop. Still, these two Kawasaki's already eking away. Well, you've got to say, superb start for them. Where is Michael Rutter?
He's six. Michael Rutter's six there going up the hill.
Well, I tell you what, he's got a lot of work to do from there.
Carl Harris. Great start.
This is Druid's Corner, a double right-hander they're onto. Well, it's hardly a straight, but it's uphill down Dale all the way along here into the first turn.
Gary Mason there on the Stobart Honda in fifth, just in front of Michael Rutter. Brilliant start for Gary Mason and a big turnaround for Paul Burt's Stobart Honda team this weekend. Stuart Higgins, Hawk Kawasaki's, Glenn Richards, Dean Thomas, great showing for them. Great for Glenn Richards having his teammate to back him up there in second.
We're on lap 2 of 18. It's a long way, 2.6 miles, gives them an opportunity to settle down now. It's not the cut and thrust of the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch where we started. And then, of course, round 3 was at Mallory Park, 1.3 miles around Mallory Park. Richards, Thomas, Lavia, Harris, Mason and Rutter still in 6th place. Richards, the fastest lap so far, 1:43.323 on lap 1. Well,
looks like we've lost James Hayden on the Grizzly Suzuki.
I think he's down at 20th.
I'll tell you what, James Buckingham on the Key Garage Suzuki, up to 8th place overall, the quickest of the Superbike Cup guys at the moment. On the 56 bike, if you get a chance to see the 56 bike, it is James Buckingham, tall, lanky James Buckingham, been riding that bike so well at the end of last year, and you can see him there just coming over the hill at the moment. A little bit of drift off Kieran Clark on the 74 bike. Meanwhile, still it is 75. Glenn Richards leaving from Dean Thomas in second place. 2 Hawk Kawasaki's riding in formation as they go up over Clay Hill. You can see still looking for Hayden. I don't know where Hayden has got to.
He's in 20th, John Reynolds just pointed out. Must have had the moment because he was in the top half dozen on the first lap, but he's obviously had the moment, maybe been off the track, and he's back in 20th position.
Well, you'll be pleased to see, as we see 36, Gregorio Lavia right on the tail of 2 Hawk Kawasaki's. No jump start, so Lavia was just superb off the line. Can't believe he managed to do that from the 3rd row of the grid, straight through into 3rd place.
Well, in 2000, Neil Hodgson started from very last on the grid and went on to win it, so we know it's a track that works for Ducatis, and if you can get away, then there's still that chance of winning. But Michael Rutter, 6th position in the moment, behind Gary Mason on another Honda. Actually, it must be a good track for the Hondas, because we've got Kieran Clark in 8th position on the Hydrex Honda.
I think one of the most impressive things about Lavia is it's never been here before, and it is one of the most technical circuits in the UK to learn.
John Reynolds there just slipping a wheel up the inside of Neil Mackenzie at last. He's been trying for about the last 5 minutes. Sorry John, we don't give away much in here.
Gregorio Lavia is looking good. I mean, he's got to be learning this track as he races here. Didn't see it until Friday for the first time, and all day Saturday and the first day of practice was wet, so he had to learn the track in damp, wet conditions.
The chicane we've just been through is now named Britain's, so a change of name for some of the corners here that we've got to keep across. This, though, is Hissey's chicane, and then we go up over Clay Hill, which is an awesome part of the racetrack. Remember, we used to arrive at this place called Knickerbrook originally, and then up over Clay Hill. That used to be scary.
5th gear over here, 150 mile an hour before breaking into Druids. Back 2 gears, back to 3rd. Double Rapex corner here, over that ridge there and down to Lodge.
Keep an eye on Carl Harris, Neil. I think Carl Harris, he's just coming on to, well, we'll call it an engine analogy. He's just coming on the cam for me in this year. So he's had 3 very good solid rounds. I had that big off after he clipped the rear end of Gregorio Lavia when Lavia went sideways at Mallory Park. But apart from that, Carl Harris, good solid Superbike debut year. And I think from this point onwards, this is a proper racetrack. He likes it here. He's won the Supersport race here, I think, the last couple of years running. And he likes this racetrack. I think we're going to see great things from him today.
No one doubted that Carl Harris would be able to ride a Superbike really well. He was on the Risen Suzuki a few years ago. That didn't work out. It was the first year. The bike was early in its development. Then he had 2 years back in Supersport, won the championship. But it really is a tough cookie. He had a massive crash at Mallory Park. When I met him on Saturday morning, I said, "You all right, Carl?" He said, "Yeah, I'm just off to get my knee drained. I'll see you in 5 minutes." Lavia, a bit tight there.
Getting a bit tight, trying to squeeze up. He was quick through Ireland, but in the meantime, Rutter had made the pass as well on Carl Harris, just when we were ringing his praises. But got to say, Lavia a little keen through Ireland corner. He looked like he got a big long run on that left-hander. He was down into Shell Oil's corner, up the inside of Dean Thomas, and Thomas just squeezed his nose, so to speak.
I'm sure he won't do that again. Lavia has got an incredible ability to absorb and process information. Learning tracks is incredible, and like John said, it's one of the most technically difficult tracks in the UK to learn. You see Lavia in tight. He's actually underneath Dean Thomas.
Didn't know whether it was the green of the Kawasaki or the green of the grass he was going to end up on there.
Well, he had a bit of a lunge, didn't work out. I'm sure he'll regroup and have a look somewhere else.
Well, he hasn't lost much time, has he? But it's Rutter who's making progress. Do you know, Michael Rutter, a feature of Michael Rutter, a very mature rider nowadays as far as race tactics are concerned. He knows he's got the race rubber to work. He knows he's got the pace. He's not going to spin that rear tyre out of contention through the early lap, just going to make progress. It's such a feature of Michael Rutter's racing.
Well, I think that rear tyre's got so much grip he couldn't spin it even if he wanted to. I know John Reynolds is of the same opinion.
I was going to say he's going to make the man next to you very, very jealous indeed. In fact, the next 2 men next to you, Chris Vermeulen just joining us here. Oh, a veer out wide there at Cascades. Drop down, loses 2 places. Rutter says, "Thank you very much. I'll have that then."
You can't knock him though. I mean, the guy is learning the track. It's incredible the job he's done so far. But he'll look and he'll learn, and he'll certainly be stronger in race 2. Rutter's making big progress now.
Well, I think Dean Thomas is just a little bit slack on the way into Shell Oils. He gives the guy behind him an opportunity just to take a bit of a lunge at him there every time. He could see that Rutter closed right in. He lost a little bit of ground, number 12, Dean Thomas, to the race leader, 75, Glenn Richards. And let's take another look at, well, he was up the inside, wasn't he, of Dean
Down
Thomas?
into Cascades, yeah.
And then just ran it a little bit wide. I'll tell you what, he did damn well to pull that back down again, because that is off camber on the outside of that
Well,
one.
he made the right decision. He knew he wasn't going to make the corner, stood it up, but it was relatively safe.
This is going to be a cracking Superbike race. We're only on lap 5 of 18 as we approach Clay Hill again. But you've got to say it's got an inevitability about it that's a little bit scary, with the HM Plant Honda just making more and more progress into Druids now. And I feel a pass coming on as we come down towards Lodge Corner. Yeah, look at that, he's lining himself up on the Honda. Well, maybe, aim for the apex, doesn't need to. Just wait a little bit longer, but certainly he kind of leapt out of the second part of Druids there.
Michael Rutter has got time, he can wait, he's sussing these guys out.
Well,
he is a complete...
He's almost been forced into this move because that Honda had so much grip and power out of the Elite. He came along, so he almost made a hand signal.
It is a great package, taking nothing away from Michael. The guy he's brilliant in practice, he's a brilliant, very smooth rider, and he's teaching Gregorio Lavia.
Lavia, I don't think he had the wheels on the track at that particular point, but still made the manoeuvre. So Lavia goes third, Rutter hits the front for the first time at Ireland. You've got to be brave in there, there's a quick old turn to throw it in at. Rutter goes first, 75 Glenn Richards in second space. Gregorio Lavia has eased his way past Dean Thomas, all happening on lap 6. Let's have a quick look. James Buckingham, the very, very best of the privateers. 7th place for James Buckingham on number 56. That is a superb ride for him. The next privateer is in 20th place, and that's Steve Brogan. And Brogy round here, he's not a man to be messed with.
Not at all. Steve Brogan's doing a good job there. He's behind a host of factory riders, but James Buckingham.
Well, again, we've got the Bennett's rider of the day that Neil Mackenzie is responsible for picking. And, we haven't had a privateer for a while, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
He is the strongest candidate as we speak.
That's as much as Neil Mackenzie's ever given away for that Bennett's rider of the day, this early in the day.
A lot of riders having good ride here. Gary Mason still in 6th on the Stobart Honda. Kieran Clark in 8th on another Honda.
Haslam up now to 10th place. Remember, he started from pit lane on that 91 bike, the Airwaves Ducati. So a lot of things going on all the way. Jonathan Ray as well on the Red Bull rookie bike, having a good ride there in 11th place. That's the best positioning, I think, that Jonathan Ray has had this year. I know he's desperate to try and make it work. There goes Carl Harris. He's under Dean Thomas now as well. Well, Dean Thomas always qualifies well, but he has yet to try and convert that to actual race pace.
He's been on the rostrum before. I remember one year at Rockingham, he was on the rostrum, but he is a good qualifier. He's fantastic over a fast lap. He's good on soft tyres, but he does tend to fade a little bit in the races.
Well, 136.465. Can't be. 138. Must have read it wrong. We've got a blurry monitor. I don't think we've got any 136s around here yet, have we? Number 44 has retired to the pits now. That is John McGuinness on the AIM Yamaha. So John McGuinness is a retirement. Alistair Flanagan's runner.
Yeah, 36 is in practice on qualifying tyres, but it's not race pace.
I know, I was getting a bit in front of myself there, wasn't it? Must be my eyesight when I'm reading this monitor, Neil. I need a younger man to help me. Better speak with John then. Still Rutter, Richards, Lavia, top 3. Carl Harris, though, not out of this equation yet. Dunlop shod. Don't forget, it's only the HM Plant Hondas that are on Michelin's. Just about everyone else is on Dunlop rubber, apart from, I think it is Julian Da Costa on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki, who's on Michelin's, on Pirelli's. Pirelli have really been pulling all the stops out this last week or two as well, coming for a little bit of criticism in being a bit slow to react, but they certainly have reacted over the last week or two. Supersports runners very happy with the Pirelli tyres that are coming out. Superbike wise, well, there's not enough of them out there to actually make a big difference. Okay, Neil, and John for that matter, while you're both sat here at the moment, Gregorio Lavia looks like a bit of a menace. Oh, I think I don't need to ask you this question because I think he's going to answer it right now. I was going to say, where's he going to make the pass? We're at Ireland. What do you think?
I think I think he couldn't pass anywhere. The great thing about a foreign rider coming to these tracks is they have no information. They haven't grown up club racing, so they haven't been following their mates round and finding out where the best places to pass. Troy Bales was a classic example of that in '98. He come to tracks like Oulton Park and he had the weirdest lines that actually worked, and Gregorio is the same. He's doing a job like Yukio Kageyama did a couple of years ago. He's learning racetracks as he goes, as he races, and that's exactly what he's doing at the moment, following number 75 Glenn Richards, just sussing him out, finding nice lines round and finding where the Ducati wants to go and where the Ducati will be stronger.
Well, they've got to watch out for Carl Harris, because all the time he's watching what's going on with the Hawk Kawasaki. Carl Harris is homing in. Michael Rutter doing what HM Plant Honda seem to be doing best this year so far, clearing off into the distance. 1 minute 37.9 was his lap on lap 7.
See, that's exactly what I was saying. Passing into Druitt is not an option for a rider that rides around here on a regular basis like Via.
You did it to me, Neil.
I did. I used to do it to John, yeah.
You did.
Oh, I put you two side by side in the commentary position and I forgot about them battling away.
That was one of the hardest moves I ever had, was when you passed me up the stair, Neil. So
here goes Carl Harris. Carl Harris up the inside. Is he going to make it as well? He's going to follow through. No, he hasn't been able to outdo Glenn Richards.
Carl Harris can smell his first rostrum. He wants that first rostrum.
Still Michael Rutter, that's out front, but this is the battle for second. 36, Gregorio Lavia on the Airwaves Ducati has got the better of Glenn Richards on bike 75, the Hawk Kawasaki. Look at the way Carl Harris can turn that Honda just about anywhere he wants it, and up towards Island, not quite the power to get underneath Glenn Richards. You want to make that one count if you're going to do it at all, but will he take the run down the Shell? He's going to be on the outside if he does.
Yeah, you have to be careful there because the rider swings back to the left, and we saw Frosty getting his front brake clipped there a few years ago. But Carl Harris, such a smooth class act. Glenn Richards, very exciting rider, but Carl Harris keeps it smooth. He said he was working his rear tyre too hard in the opening laps at Brands and Thruxton, and he really was going to try hard to adjust his riding style and get better performance out of the rear tyre.
Look at the lead that Rutter has got. He's absolutely 2.9 seconds it was as he crossed the line last time round. I think he's extended it still further.
And we're only at half race distance.
Oh, up on the curbs goes Glenn Richards. If he spun that up a little bit, it might have given an opportunity to Carl Harris to get right with him as they come round towards Druitt.
Dean Thomas got a second win here. He's hanging on to Carl Harris.
Yeah, Glenn Richards, though, it's a 140 he put out last time. It's the lap time he did last time round wasn't that fast. And Carl Harris not able to quite get the drive out of Druitt to get with him as they get to Lodge, which is where we're at right now.
But Carl is good from here over the start-finish. He was having a look at Glenn Richards.
It's a little way back, though. That Honda's going to have to be quick if he's going to get on turns with him as we go down towards Old Hall corner. Already Rutter's long gone. The thing is with Glenn Richards, he carries corner speed in different places to the other motorcycles around him. He seems to have a lot of mid-corner speed, Glenn Richards. It's a product of his style more than anything.
Yeah, Glenn's not afraid to let the rear end move around a bit, but he does push the front quite hard as well, as did Scott Smart on that bike last year.
Once again, you saw Carl Harris trying to get their power on early. He's up the inside at Island, but I'll tell you what, you need big melons if you're going to make that move.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of time. He's definitely closer. Gregorio Lavia's got a little bit of a gap there between himself and Glenn Richards in third.
Oh, and the woes continue for the Virgin Mobile boys.
Sean Emmett.
Number 5, Sean Emmett is in the pit, so Emmett has retired. Rob Mack, well, don't know what that guy's got to do to have any luck this year.
Tough weekend. Tommy Hill having a week out. He needed a skin graft to his forearm after Mallory. He didn't actually have that skin graft. They just basically pulled it all together, but his hand is so tight he can hardly move it, so he's hoping to be back from Mondello. And Richard Wren, the R6 Cup Championship winner from last year, he actually was the last qualifier, so he really is struggling around here at Oulton Park on the R1 Yamaha.
Hardly any surprise when you see the pace of these guys. I think everybody's shocked by just how close it is now at Superbike, and in fact at Super Sport level. The classes have closed right up as far as times, and the machinery is so good all the way down the field. Also, the only thing that seems to change is the amount of factory support and a bit of money. Glenn Richards looking slightly like he's going for that apex. That was a lunge from a long way back.
That's a bit of local circuit knowledge.
I can't believe he managed to do that.
That was a nice clean move, and Gregorio really...
Oh, here we go. Carl Harris has followed through. There's Gregorio going back from second to fourth, all in one move. Through Old Hall, and Gregorio Lavia goes fourth. Dean Thomas is next to try and have a bit of a go at the Airwaves Ducati.
Do you know, right of this race, although we're looking at these guys, it's got to be Leon Haslam. Started from the pit lane, he's now up to 6th position.
It's pretty impressive. 1 minute 38.8 last time round. He's 3.4, he's 8.8 seconds back on the leader.
Carl Harris is second.
Yeah, Harris has gone through. Well, Carl Harris, I reckon, was a great each-way bet when we came on air. I think I might be converting
It's too late now. You've got to make your decision before you come on
there's
air.
again another Bennett's Rider of the Day possibility here from Carl Harris. You've never given it to him on a Superbike.
Not this season. He was stupendous the last 2 years on the HM Plant 600 CBR, but Superbike, well, we knew he was going to do well. It's maybe no surprise. It's just a matter of time. He knows how to sort out a bike. He knows how to sort out his riding style, and it's working this weekend at Oulton Park. Scott Smart on the Rizzo Suzuki was actually making decent progress up to 8th position, and now he's dropped back to 11th.
Too much progress, perhaps. Maybe it's very easy to make a run on at his chicane. A few have been down there in qualifying. Rutter leads by 5.2 seconds from this man now, number 9, on the Honda Racing.co.uk bike, Carl Harris.
And it's the first time Carl Harris has had a clear track, and you can see
how good he's using it. Reigning
exactly.
British Supersports champion, and he loves this racetrack here at Oulton Park. This was the one that we expected him to excel at and maybe launch his Superbike career proper, I feel, here.
Definitely. I really felt he should have been on the Superbike last year, but Honda made the right decision. They kept him there to defend his title, which he did, and they've rewarded him with this Superbike. And you can see, I can see this weekend, he's much smoother on that bike. Wayne Lammy's suspension guy is really good at sorting things out, and you can see he's worked hard. Carl's worked on his riding style, and they've got a bike that's working better for Carl Harris, as he has a bit of a wobble out of Cascades.
Superbike Cup for privateers. It's still James Buckingham, 8th place overall, riding his socks off round here, really, in that totally under-financed team. Key Suzuki, they make the bike look so good. It's a great little team, but James Buckingham, I would not have expected to be so far up the leaderboard. He is the leading privateer, but he is, well, I can tell you, he is 11 places in front of his closest challenger, which is Steve Brogan, in the Privateer Cup.
Gregorio Lavia has bolted himself on the back of Carl Harris now, like a little terrier.
Julian De Costa on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki as a retirement.
Gregorio likes to pass into Druids, and that's somewhere where Carl Harris won't be expecting anyone to try and pass on. We'll have to watch. We're just approaching Druids now up Clay Hill. The next right-hander is Druids. Let's have a look if
he does it once.
Gregorio has.
If he does it once, Carl Harris will be expecting it the next time. Carl Harris is quite wide on the entry into there, though, isn't it? Quite tight if you take it the other way around on the entry.
2 Kawasaki's hanging on still. Dean
really
Thomas
hanging on.
Dean Thomas doing a good job there in 5th.
But the times all staying consistently, that high 38s, low 39s from these 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place men. Rutter, what's he extended his lead to? It was a huge 6.3 now. It's even gone up to 6.3. He's just clearing off at the front, Michael Rutter. Great times from him.
Look at Leon Haslam in the background. He's catching the Kawasaki's.
I'll tell you what, that'll be impressive. Leon Haslam, and there's time. With
just set his fastest lap of the race at 1:38.0. There's time for Leon Haslam to get in the rostrum.
Well, another rider of the day candidate.
Changes by the second.
How many will you have, Neil?
There he is, Leon just coming into sight, into Island there.
Be interested to know what exactly happened to his motorcycle. Bit of a disaster for him, considering he's got this kind of race pace that could certainly run with Michael Rutter at the front.
I was just talking to his mum, Anne, just before the start of this race, and I was asking how Leon is coping with the team, how he's fitting in. He said it's fantastic. He really gelled with Colin right from day one. They have good banter, good crack, not intimidated, and both guys working really well together.
Well, I can tell you what happened.
Oh, Harris was wide.
Hot there and through goes Gregorio. Doesn't need any invitation at all. Harris was a little bit hot on the way in, and Gregorio took it. Well, Harris and Haslam collided on the warm-up lap. That's the reason why Haslam had to take his damaged motorcycle into pit lane. So Carl Harris and Leon Haslam had a coming together on the warm-up lap that we didn't see. I've just been told this.
Best of mates. Best of mates, these guys off track, but I'm sure a little bit of revenge if Haslam can catch Carl.
Well, he's there. You've only got to look at him now. You spotted him first, Neil. And Haslam is right there on the back of his bunch now. Look at that.
Fantastic.
What a great ride from pit lane.
With the exception of Leon winning at Brands last year, this is the best performance I've ever seen from him on a Superbike. Look at Kawasaki guys battling out there into Old Hall.
Remember Neil Hodgson off the back row of the grid here when he got penalised for... I can't remember what he got penalised for. I think it's because he stalled the motor and had to start from the back of the grid, and he won the race from the back of the grid. Haslam, I don't think he's going to get anywhere near like winning this race unless Rutter has some diabolical luck.
Could be the next best step to the podium, though. It's not out of the question that he could finish second here.
That's the thing with nice long laps. If he can put together lap after... Look how close he is already with Dean Thomas. He's right on him.
Well, he has got a second a lap on these guys as he's catching them. Different story now when he has to pass them. But
he's got to cut through them very, very quickly if he's going to challenge for that second place. He hasn't managed to do it on the run into Shell. Dean Thomas blocking perfectly as far as that's concerned. Lavia still in second place on bike 36, and it's 9 Carl Harris, 75 Glenn Richards, 12 Dean Thomas, and then 91 Leon Haslam.
He's got 4 laps, could be 1 a lap.
7.1 seconds now, the lead, Rutter over Lavia, sorry.
I've got to say the second best recovery of the race is James Hayden on the Rizla Suzuki. They're up to 9th. I know I'm a little bit biased, but I have been keeping my eye on him, and I think that's fantastic from 20th.
No, I think you can be biased as far as Hayden's concerned, because I think he's having a great weekend so far, and it's what the team needed, there's no doubt about it. James Buckingham dropping down the order to 14th place in the Superbike Cup, but still leading by 5 places from Steve Brogan, who is his main contender as far as the Superbike Cup's concerned.
Dean Thomas.
Dean Thomas back a place. Well, Glenn Richards got to say the same's likely to happen. We're going to be on lap 15 of the 18 soon. A long 2.6 mile lap.
It really
just
is.
gives you loads of time to sort yourself out here.
It really is. Certainly loads of time to make ground up, and if you have got a favourite passing spot, I always tried to find myself a favourite passing spot in practice because I wasn't always the best off the grid, and it works. If you've got somewhere you can just nail 1 a lap, then you're in good shape.
Rutter, Lavia, Harris, Richards, Haslam and Dean Thomas. That's your top 6. You can see 5 of them. Rutter's off the front. Gary Mason, wow, that's a great result for the Eddie Stobbart Honda, considering the woes that they have had. As we keep an eye on Haslam. Look at the corner.
Look at Leon on the outside.
Looking really fast in the middle of Island Corner.
I'll be impressed if he passes him in here. Not quite close enough, but...
Well, it's going to be Clay Hill then, and up and over in the Druids. Perhaps he'll do a Lavia. Still looking at Gregorio Lavia. A bit of a gap now in second place on third place man number 9, Carl Harris. Glenn Richards, he doesn't know what's coming, but it's going to be coming. Let's have a look at how fast that Ducati is up and over this hill. See if
fast.
Yeah, it is fast as well. Not quite close enough to make the run on the inside, though. His is. This, I remind you, is the battle for second place. Still Michael Rutter leads. 7.246 seconds his lead at the end of the last lap. We're on lap 15 of 18. Druids Corner. I think we're definitely going to have a pass down into Lodge from Haslam again. John Reynolds sits with us here in the commentary position. John, can see why you took a little bit of early retirement this year when this is going on for second place.
Mate, no, I'd love to be involved in that. It looks fantastic racing, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, the ride for me has got to be Leon Haslam at the moment. He's come from right from the back and he's looking really strong. Yeah, I'm really happy for him.
Having a bit of a struggle there to make a pass on Glenn Richards. Glenn Richards just has all that corner speed. The one thing that impresses me, it doesn't matter if it's Ducati, Honda or Kawasaki, you've got to say that the pace of all these motorcycles is so similar now.
Very similar. Obviously all the Japanese manufacturers now at 1000cc Superbike. The Ducatis have been at 1000cc's for quite a number of years. But what impresses me is that the Ducati's actually hanging on. It looks like Leon has got past Glenn Richards there, just before Island, just before Shell Oils.
Michael Rutter just easing the pace at the front, just a fraction as well, or these guys are up in it because Lavia, well, he's a little closer to Michael Rutter, your race leader. Let's take a look. Yeah, Leon is through, so Leon is now going to repay the compliment to Carl Harris.
He has, he's got a nice clear track now, nice clear track. This is when Leon is at his fastest.
He certainly knows how to put a lap together, doesn't he? And this was the place that I thought Leon would shine as well, because he likes this racetrack. That's his teammate on the Airwave Ducati, Gregorio Lavia, the Spaniard. Second place at the moment for him. He really has strung together some great results this year. Third in the championship at the moment. Would have been higher if he hadn't had that big crash in the opening Superbike race at Mallory Park a week ago. Very lucky to get away without any injury there, as was Carl Harris, who managed to clip the rear end of Gregorio's bike when Gregorio was sideways at Gerrard's, 120 mile an hour entry to that particular corner. So no doubt Carl Harris will be watching the rear end of Gregorio this time round.
Carl Harris is built like a brick outhouse though.
Nicely put. Where is Haslam? Haslam closing in on 91. There he is. Leon Haslam has dropped.
Carl being Carl, I'm sure he's thinking about a last lap manoeuvre. Not quite close enough at the moment.
But the problem he's got to think about is he's got another Airwaves Ducati that's homing in on him, and it's all very well trying to work out the guy in front of him, but the guy behind you is an unknown quantity.
Leon's not close enough at the moment, but he has got a lap and a half.
Yeah, it is only a lap and a half though, and it's going to be tough for Leon Haslam to get on the pace of these two. They've just put up the fastest lap of their race at the moment, Lavia and Harris. They're going quicker now, in other words, than they've done throughout this race, so no wonder they're closing down Rutter at the front of the field. Rutter can ease off his pace, but these two, second and third, 36 and 9, have just put in their personal bests of this opening Superbike race. That's impressive considering where we are in the race.
It certainly is. New goals for Airwaves. Ducati Gregorio already finished second on the roster. I'm sure they'd like to win a race, but having two of the Airwaves Ducatis on the roster would be a nice day, or a nice opening race at Oulton Park for the Airwaves Ducati. Colin Wright and Darrell Healy.
Interesting situation we got here. Carl Harris is, well, he's in a real old battle. I'm sure he wants to get that second place, but he's going to find himself in a minute defending that third place. He may be deposed from his podium position.
Interesting last lap
coming up, indeed. Couple of last turns before we start the last lap. Michael Rutter already out of dear leave and right alongside us here in the commentary position. But it's these three that we're going to focus on. Still, it's James Buckingham fading a little bit towards the end of this race. I'll hazard a guess at tyres for James Buckingham, slipping down the order. He's 16th now, and it's Martin Nutt, the Ulsterman, who's come up in the Superbike Cup reckoning to be second in the Superbike Cup, deposing Steve Brogan. Final lap of this 18, and this is the race for second place. Rutter has it in the bag at the front. It will be his third win of 3 races. But Gregorio Lavia, 20 points he sits on at the moment, and he'll hang on to them, yeah.
Carl has no doubt C+0 in his pitboard, so he knows his position is still under threat.
I would hazard a guess that that's why the pace of the second and third placemen has been so hot, because they've obviously been indicated that Haslam is coming. Yeah. Where is Haslam going to make a pass? I'm pretty sure he's going to put a pass on Carl Harris. It's a question of whereabouts, or will it be clean? Over Hilltop, down towards his. Here comes Haslam.
On the brakes.
Up the inside on the brakes. Has he made it? No.
Oh, contact.
Here we go. Oh, who's going to get the drive over Clay Hill? Well, that's okay.
Well, was that revenge or what?
Yeah, I'm happy enough that they both stayed on.
That's fair, and in the same position.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. You got to try.
That was a racing incident.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
And I'm sure one day they'll have
incident on the warm-up lap.
I'm sure they'll be amused having a beer afterwards, but not at the moment. There's still some positions to sort out here.
And this is the corner they're going to sort it out on. It's going to be just there at Lodge. Who's it going to be in second place? That's your race 1 winner. Over the line he goes. Michael Rutter takes a race win. Who's he going to be in second place? Lavia, third. Oh, dear me. It was Harris from Haslam. You can win a car by the end of the year if you're lucky. He missed out on it by just a couple of points last year. John Reynolds would have won it then. Michael Rutter then confirmed the winner from Lavia from Harris. What a great race that was. Leon Haslam from pit lane comes into 4th place. Then it is Glenn Richards, Dean Thomas, Gary Mason. That's the best of the Eddie Stobbart team rides this year so far. James Hayden made it, going to come back into 8th place. Good ride from him on the Rizzo Suzuki as well. Scott Smart, his teammate, only 9th. Fastest lap on the last lap. Someone will be talking to him. Kieran Clark, Steve Plater, Jonathan Ray, Michael Laverty and John Laverty. Look at that, 2 Laverty brothers. There's something like 79 Ulstermen over here by coach to see the Lavertys. From Toonbridge, most of them. So hello and welcome to all of you. Ben Wilson, last of the points there, and James Buckingham.